So early in session, a lot of times a lot of bills haven't dropped. So we've been focused on hearing from agency directors. So we've heard from the Commissioner of Public Lands, Peter Goldmark, and we've also heard from Bud Hover, the Director of the Department of Agriculture, and yesterday the Director of Fish and Wildlife was also over to kind of give a state of their agencies. Some bills have dropped, and so we had a hearing on a bill, the ivory bill, which was an interesting bill that would criminalize the possession of ivory. I have some concerns about the way the bill is originally drafted, and we're working on amendments to see if we can't make the bill work better. But very interesting bill. Another bill that's before the committee is a hunter safety bill, where we're working with Fish and Wildlife and their hunter education program to see if we can't make some improvements in the RCW that improve hunter safety. And we think at some point we'll be able to move that bill out of committee. The law, when I was a youth, required a hunter under the age of 14 to hunt with a mentor, typically a parent or older sibling. And what that promotes is a learning experience, a mentoring experience, where they can gain some knowledge, experience, and safety. And we think there's some merit in reinstituting that. That's the age that I grew up with, was the law at the time. That law was inadvertently changed, and so we're considering adding that back in. There's some concern about that, but I think there is some support for that. There is a minimum age in the bill, and I think the arguments were persuasive during the committee hearing that maybe we should remove the minimum age, give that authority to the instructors to make that decision about when a child is able to take and productively gain from the course. So that minimum age will probably come out of the bill, and then I think it's ready to move forward. Well, I think the highest priority for all of us is education. We have got to find a path forward on properly funding basic education. So I think you're going to see a lot of effort on that. I'm working across the aisle and across the rotunda with the other chamber to move forward on funding basic education. I think it's our paramount duty as a state, and so it's a priority for me. In the end, I think we're going to get there, but it's going to be a difficult conversation. Washington probably is more reliant on hatchery fish than any of the lower 48 states. And I recognized a few years ago that we had let investment in our hatchery system lapse, and worked with the capital budget chair to drive funding into revamping our hatchery system. And I've been visiting the hatcheries in my district, and those capital projects are getting done on schedule, ahead of time. And I think you're going to see a real improvement in the efficiency and the ability of our hatchery system to deliver healthy fish into our waterways. We just had a record run in the Columbia River and around the state. We're seeing fish coming back to places we haven't seen them in recent decades. And so there's a lot of good news in the salmon front, and I think you're going to see both our sport and commercial fisheries benefit from that.